my name is Natalia House and welcome back to my channel. It is now 2026, so guys, I'm gonna be trying to post for you all every Thursday, but what better way to start off by doing a long-awaited video is how I got into content, how I'm doing what I'm doing, and how you can get started as well. So first, I just want to give all honor and glory to God. If you don't know me, you know I'm very religious and I pray constantly, so if I had to give anybody all the praise, it would literally be God first and foremost. Next, I'm gonna get into consistency, and I know y'all are tired of hearing about it, but consistency is so important because especially with TikTok algorithm, if you're not posting every single day, the algorithm is gonna forget about you and you're gonna have to start from scratch, quite literally. There have been days where I've went 2 or 3 days without posting and I start back on square one with 100 some views. But when you see on my page where I'm consistently posting, then you're gonna see where I have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and sometimes 17K. So it's all about consistency. Consistency also means consistency on all platforms. So you don't want to just post on TikTok. That TikTok, you want to put it on Instagram. That Instagram, you want to put it on YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, etc. Next, I want to get into user-generated content. Now, a lot of people sleep on UGC because they don't really know what it is, because UGC, you don't post it. So user-generated content, I got started on an app called Upwork, which I'm going to put right here. Upwork, y'all, I was low-key really frustrated with Upwork when I first started, just because you're not going to get a whole bunch of bookings when you first start with Upwork. When you get on Upwork, you're going to see waiting and waiting and waiting. You're like, why am I sitting here waiting? Why am I sitting here waiting? And the people that have put on to Upwork, they've also talked about how you now have to pay for connects. That's another patience thing. So you do not have to pay for connects. Upwork is completely free. You pay for connects if you are overly applying. So you build up your portfolio, you're reaching out to brands. Do not buy connects unless you're deeply in. Like right now, I could low-key apply for connects, but every month I get sent free connects. So when you start, wait for them to send you free connects and do not pay for them. But basically, UGC, you can do this with a lot of different things. You can also put your email in your bio, which is something I definitely recommending. Putting your email in your bio, brands will reach out to you and you'll honestly be surprised of who all wants to work with you. And when you email these brands, talk about UGC, because maybe they don't want you to post this on your main, but they'll post it for them. And also, one thing I will say, do not sell yourself short for UGC. One time I did UGC for a company and they ended up bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars when I only charged them $60 for the video, which that was me first starting out. Me now knows that UGC, you need to charge them high because they're getting a lot of sales and they definitely have the money. Recap of just UGC before we go on to the next thing. Make sure you're doing UGC through the app that I mentioned earlier and also through your email. Next, we're going to talk about picking up brand gigs near you. Now, this not only helps you network with other like-minded individuals, but this also pays. So this is one app that I use. It's called Trusted Herd. I'm going to put it right here. And as well as Newbridge Marketing. I'm going to put it here. And Newbridge Marketing was originally catered for college students, but whenever I started working for them, I was working with people that were not college students. So if you're not a college student, this is going to work for you as well as Trusted Herd. These gigs depend on, there's a variety of things that you can do. Frosted Flakes. I think I've done a T-Mobile collaboration. They have so many different things that you can do. And these gigs, 9 times out of 10, last longer. Another way that you can get into brand gigs is on LinkedIn. I also picked up something on LinkedIn. As long as your profile is up to date, 9 times out of 10, brands will reach out to you. But don't be afraid to reach out to them. There might be a brand event happening that you can pull up and help. Another marketing agency I recommend is Wasserman Next Gen, which is someone I'm currently working with now. And they led me to a brand trip, which I'll get into later. But Wasserman Next Gen is specifically for college students, but it's also another way to get brand gigs and brand collabs as well. Next, let's talk about the TikTok shop. So I'm gonna get back into my TikTok shop era. If you know, you know. 2025 and 2024 were my main TikTok shop era. You guys, I was on the TikTok shop like there was no tomorrow, and I definitely racked up bank with the TikTok shop. I prefer it over the creator program because it doesn't slow down your views and you're able to get commission off of free products. Like, who doesn't want free stuff? And if you're like me, I also make them pay a fee, which is for editing and things like that. I also know people that have made 6 to 7 figures off of this, and some people are making $1 million off the TikTok shop. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and sign up for the TikTok shop right now, because I think you only need 1,000 followers to do so. Next tip is specifically talking about putting your email in your bio. I know I mentioned this earlier, but now I'm gonna hit it on the head. Putting your email in your bio is so important, because the amount of brand gigs I've gotten from specifically putting my email in my bio, the amount of things that I've gotten invited to, putting your email in your bio is so important, because not only does it say, hey, I'm available for this, but brands know how to reach out to you, because a DM can get lost. And some brands don't even DM. They see an email and they're like, yep, this is my gateway to this person. And I recommend making a separate email, because I was using the same email at first, and honestly everything was getting confusing. My personal life, like my Sephora emails and my Starbucks emails, they was getting confused with my content. So making sure you make a separate email strictly for content, so you know when you scrolling on that thing, you're gonna just see content and you don't gotta like go in and try to figure out which email is what's doing what. So just have everything in one spot. I also recommend doing labels. I'm going to show you guys what a label is right here. I do this so I know when I need to submit content for a brand, when I haven't responded to a brand, etc, etc. Next step is brand events and brand dinners. We all love the brand events and we all love the brand dinners, but did you do what you needed to do to get there? Okay, so my first brand dinner was with Amazon, with y'all. I was super excited about this. If you know, you know. At brand events and dinners, they spoil you. They gave me a huge basket of goodies, and I want y'all to get the same goodies. So let me tell you how I did it. So I had a chance to work with Amazon Prime Student as an ambassador using Washington or Newbridge, like I told you guys earlier, and I low-key excelled in the program. So I emailed after the program and I said, hey, is there any way I can either extend my contract for next semester, or do you guys have anything going on? And that's when I got invited to their brand dinner. Companies are always doing events to celebrate top performing students and brand ambassadors. So if you feel like you did your big one, maybe reach out to them, or maybe ask, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Because as a micro influencer, you might not automatically be considered for those things, but that does not mean that you're not relevant enough to be in those rooms. And when I tell y'all, I networked my butt off in that room. Another brand event I went to was Red Bull. Like I said, Red Bull, I was hired through LinkedIn and I applied for that. Do not be afraid to apply. They're not going to come falling out the sky, which they will start to, but you got to put in that work for them to start. Next, I'm going to get into paid travel. Everybody loves a brand trip, and this was on my 2025 vision board, you guys, and I went on 4 brand trips last year as a micro influencer with someone that only has 3,000 followers on Instagram and 16,000 something followers on TikTok. So let me show y'all how I did it. Getting paid travel from brands goes hand in hand with the brand events, but just a little step further. Specifically with my Shannon brand trip, they flew us all out to Miami, all expenses paid for everything. We was on a yacht, $46 million yacht, I believe, $43 million yacht. It was in the millions, and it was a yacht, and I enjoyed it. All I did was literally put the brand at the forefront of what I was doing. I knew that they had a brand trip coming up, and I was like, I need to be in this brand trip. And I knew they were only selecting, I think, about 100 ambassadors. So I was like, yeah, no, I have to. I was posting content about this brand every day, not spamming it, because you got to understand the difference between authentic content and spam content. I was actually posting good quality content for this brand every single day. I was DMing them. I don't care. I was DMing them, and I was basically saying like, hey, I'm interested in your brand trip. Like, this is me. This is why I feel like I should be here. And what do you know? I got a email saying, congratulations, you were invited to go on the 2025 brand trip. And so from that, honestly, guys, I've just been doing the same thing. I got invited on a brand trip in Punta Cana because during my birthday, I was posting a bunch of content about what I was doing in Punta Cana. Anytime you're in a different country or anywhere, post about these people's companies, because little do you know, I was getting flown back out to Punta Cana to do another video about the boat tour that I went on, because little did you know, little me gained them a whole bunch of traction, so they flew me back out, and that was a fun experience. And then I went on paid travel with Red Bull, which was super fun. And that was basically by, like I said, advocating for myself. I did a marketing presentation talking about initiatives that I think should be in their 2026 summer. And I got invited to Miami with Red Bull. So I was in Miami twice last year. And then last but not least, I also got invited to the TurboTax and Credit Karma brand trip, which I landed through Wasserman Next Gen. So if you're a college student, you need to get connected with Wasserman, because that brand trip was honestly my favorite out of all of them. But honestly, I'm just blessed to be able to have done paid travel, because not a lot of people get paid travel.
You know it's tea when you see them two fingers touching.
I was super excited and I was determined to go on a brand trip, and who would have knew that 2025 was going to be my year. 2026 can be yours. One last thing I want to talk about, and a lot of people might feel controversial about this, but guys, I don't know. I recommend going to local shoots, and what I mean by local shoots is y'all, I don't want to say this, but you don't want to do them 20v20s. I'm not saying be in the 20v20, and I'm not saying it's bad to be in the 20v20. I personally just don't do the whole 20v20 thing. There's nothing wrong with it. If you like to do that, that's you. I'm too shy for a 20v20, so I would not be in one. But just going to them, when I tell y'all the amount of connections that there is, hence right here, I'm telling you, you can connect with so many different influencers, so many different celebs, if there is going to be a celebrity there. And honestly, just going to shoots just shows you like how many people are dedicated to this content thing. I am located in North Carolina. I always go to all of the Charlotte shoots, and then when I'm back in school, which is in Winston, I go to Wake Forest. I'll go to the Greensboro shoots. But going to those shoots, get your foot in the door, and you get to meet a lot of people. I meet a lot of photographers. Sometimes you get some free photos while you're out there because the photographers are just snapping it up. And honestly, it's just an overall fun experience, and you get to meet a lot of like-minded individuals that are trying to do the same thing as you. And you also get plugged into these little group chats that help you build your clientele. All of this to say, you guys, I'm not a perfect influencer. I'm not a perfect content creator. I am still learning myself, but one thing that I have learned from all of this is that you need to put yourself in front of the camera, which is why I'm going to be doing YouTube this year. I was very shy. I'm very insecure. But in Jesus' name, I'm going to rebuke all of those feelings and get more in front of the camera this year and post some awesome content for y'all, because I feel like if I put my personality in my content more, I'll be way better off than I am now. But I'm just thanking God for where I am right now, y'all. I'm an RA. Give me a second. Guys, I have to go handle a lockout. But that's what I'm saying. Like, as a content creator, I balance a lot of different hats. And y'all, I promise I did not stage that. But honestly, just getting out there and doing a lot of different things, you'll have a lot of different things to post about. People are like, what am I going to post? What am I going to post? What am I going to post? Literally, just get out there and post your life. Everyone's life is so beautiful, so different. And I just think that content doesn't have to be one standard thing. Literally make it an umbrella of what you want to do. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video. If anyone has any more comments, please feel free to DM me or just comment on this video, and make sure you drop a like and subscribe and follow for more. Love you guys. Bye.